At first, when Elohim created the sky and the land was formless and empty, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. But the wind of Elohim was brooding upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, "Light, let it be." And light was. And Elohim saw that the light was good, and parted the light from the darkness, and named the light Day, and the darkness Elohim named Night. And evening was, and morning was, the first day. And Elohim said, "A canopy in the midst of the waters, let it be, and let it be the one who divides waters from waters." So Elohim made the canopy, and he divided the waters that were below from the waters that were above. And it happened. And Elohim named the canopy Sky. And evening was, and morning was, the second day. And Elohim said, "The waters beneath the sky, let them be gathered to a single place, and let dry ground be revealed." And it happened. And Elohim named the dry ground land, and the gathered waters sea. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, "The land, let it sprout forth vegetation, green plants sowing seed, fruit trees producing fruit containing seed for its own species upon the land." And it happened. And the land brought forth vegetation, green plants sowing seed for its own species, and trees producing fruit containing seed for its own kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And evening was, and morning was, the third day. And Elohim said, "Luminary bodies in the canopy of the sky, to distinguish between the day and the night, let them be. And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the canopy of the sky, to shine upon the land." And it happened. And Elohim made the two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night and the stars. And Elohim gave them in the canopy of the sky to shine upon the land, to govern the day and the night, to distinguish between the light and the darkness. And Elohim saw it was good. And evening was, and morning was, the fourth day. And Elohim said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and birds to fly over the land in the face of the canopy of the sky." And Elohim created the great sea monsters, and every living swarming creature of its own species, with which the waters swarmed, and every winged bird of its own species. And Elohim saw it was good. And Elohim blessed them, saying, "Thrive in fruitfulness and multiply. Fill the waters in the seas, and the birds, let them multiply on the land." And evening was, and morning was, the fifth day. And Elohim said, "Let the land bring forth living creatures of its own kind, beasts, creeping things, and wild animals of the land, each of its own species." And it happened. And Elohim made the wild animals of the land, each to their own species, and the beasts, each to its own species, and every creeping critter of the ground, each to its own species. And Elohim saw it was good. And Elohim said, "Let us make humankind in our image, after our likeness, and let them govern over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the beasts, and over all of the land, and over every critter that creeps upon the land." And Elohim created humankind in God's image. In the image of God, Elohim created them. Male and female, God created them. And Elohim blessed them and said to them, "Thrive in fruitfulness and multiply, and fill the land, and harness its potential. Govern over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over all of the living creatures that creep upon the land." And Elohim said, "See here, I have given to you every seed-sowing plant that is upon the face of the land, and every tree in whom there is fruit producing seed. It will be food for you and for every living creature of the land, and for every bird of the sky, and for every critter that creeps upon the land which has the breath of life. Every green plant will be for food." And it happened. And Elohim saw all that he had made, and beheld, it was abundantly good. And evening was, and morning was, the 6th day.